What's up, guys? Biker Dave here. 2023 Honda CRF450RWE, also known as the Works Edition. This is a loaded Honda, top of the line. You know, it's the best Honda motocross bike they offer, and I could agree. It is a fantastic dirt bike. You know, I can't even count how many dirt bikes I've had in my history, and this is definitely the nicest bike I've ever had or ridden, and for that matter. It is loaded with features. You know, just Google Works Edition Honda CRF450 and you can find out all about what this bike has on it that a regular 450R does not have. I've got another video about that, you know, with a walk around on this, but man, it's just fantastic. Something that's really cool about it, you know, with the newer fuel injected 4-strokes, they also have EFI mapping adjustments, you know, similar to how you can tune a car. You can also modify, you know, the performance of the engine just by pressing this button right here. It's got 3 settings, and you know, all you have to do is crank the engine and it'll flash. Here, I'll show you real quick how this does. Electric start, of course. Alright, notice it flashed one time. That means it's on setting 1. And for me, you know, I hadn't ridden in 2 years, and I definitely hadn't ridden this bike ever at a track, so I put it on setting 1. It was very good. It was nice and manageable. It wasn't too much, you know, it wasn't too crappy, too amazing of power or anything. It felt more like maybe a 350 in my opinion. But here's how you change it. Just hold the M button and watch what happens on the display. Okay, just hold it for a second. That's setting 1. Setting 2 is what is stock. It was very powerful at setting 2. And then setting 3 would be ridiculous mode, ludicrous mode. It'll flash 3 times for that. And I honestly, after I rode it on setting 2, which is, I mean, you know, I'm no beginner, but I'm no pro either. And I hadn't ridden in a long time. So, you know, my hands weren't in shape, my forearms not in shape. And that had nothing to do with, you know, with riding technique. It had to do with just I hadn't ridden in forever. So I put it on setting 1, and this bike was really nice to ride. You know, you're trying to get used to a new bike and get yourself back in shape for riding. Man, setting 1 was fantastic. Something else that was awesome, the suspension was kind of firm at first. You know, this suspension has barely even been broken in. The previous owner barely trail rode this bike, so it hadn't really been, you know, moved much at all. So I've got it on a very soft setting, and I could feel it was starting to soften up after about an hour of motocross riding. But yeah, it needs to be ridden at least 5 to 10 hours before the suspension is really broken in. And notice it's got the awesome nitride coated forks, as well as shock body right there. I mean, it's just, you know, it's as if it were a pro, you know, pro quality bike. Totally amazing. And so yeah, I've got it on a very soft setting. And so yeah, if you get one of these, and you know, and I weigh, with fully loaded with gear and everything, I'm around 200 pounds, because I wear about 20 pounds of gear with knee braces and helmets and boots and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm around 200, and it was still firm for me. So if you weigh that much, a softer setting, like if you're around in the middle setting, 12 clicks out or whatever, you need to bring it back to at least 15 clicks out on compression. And I lowered the high-speed compression also, because it just felt too firm. You know, I wasn't getting a lot of movement out of the suspension at all. So yeah, soften it up and get used to it at first. You know, ride it for a while so the suspension gets fully broken in. Then you can really make some final adjustments. Something I don't really like, I mean, yes, it's awesome. The titanium gas tank is awesome, but the fuel actually gets hot in there, because you could feel the metal of the tank was warm. And it wasn't a hot day yesterday. You know, it was like 80 degrees riding yesterday, but the heat coming off of the gas, you know, after the top end of the engine, is actually baking the gas tank, which, as you can see, it's right down through there, and the whole tank gets warm. And hot fuel gives less power, so that's, you know, you need to put some heat shield tape on the bottom of the tank. I think that may help that. Look, it comes with the DID Dirt Star LTX rims. Comes stock with all that. It also has torque control, which I haven't experimented with that either, but I think that's more for starting line application. You can control torque, and as well as some sort of launch control that you use the start button for that. And I haven't messed with that either. But this bike is loaded with technology. You're talking almost 15 grand if you buy a brand new one from the dealership, if you can even find one available, because most of the dealers are sold out of them, and they don't stock many of them because they know it's a little bit on the higher end for most people to buy a motocross bike, as far as on the Japanese side of the market. But yes, it ran fantastic. I stalled at one time and it was my own fault. Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with it. I've got a few other videos about this bike, a couple of upgrades I did. I upgraded the air filter seal. There's the air box is right behind here, and I like to install a filter seal. It's like a little foamy, thin material that just gives the air filter a little bit better ability to block out dirt and dust and that sort of thing. Put an hour meter on it also. I got a video about that for this bike. So I have a whopping 1 hour of riding time, because the track we were at, they did like a little 20-minute riding sessions. And yeah, I won't lie to you, I was out of shape as far as riding shape. And I try to keep myself in decent physical condition. And but you all know how it is. When you get out there on the track, it's a different story. What else you got? Yeah, the hydraulic clutch is fantastic, which is also a new thing for the new Hondas. No clutch to adjust, so I like that a lot. Brakes felt beautiful. I mean, right out of the box, this thing is fantastic. Gear shifting felt really good, smooth. It wasn't any problem changing gears under any condition. It's got the Henson, not just a cover, but it's got full Henson clutch components inside there as well, which is pretty awesome. This bike, the Works Edition has about $3,000 of upgrades versus a regular 450R, and yeah, you can definitely tell the difference looking at the bike as well as riding the bike. But yeah, I've got a few other videos about it, so check it out. I'll put a playlist link. You'll see the thumbnail pop up at the end of this video. And look in the description of our videos as well. You'll see our social media links and our eBay store, Amazon store, where we sell motorcycle-related parts and specialty tools, flywheel pullers, fork boots, magnetic drain plugs, all kinds of unique stuff that we've been selling for more than 15 years online. And yeah. 2023 CRF450W or RWE, and it is everything they say it is. Anyway, that's it. Just cleaning up. You know how the cleanup day is after you go riding. All the stuff that you have to take to the track to be properly outfitted. All the cleaning is going on today, which I've just done to the bike. Now we're going to clean up the rest of this crap. So anyway, y'all have a great day. We'll see y'all later.